got 3 free gifts for you to give you after I show some slides. And you don't need to enter an email address. I'll give you a direct download link. So it's just some extra stuff that will help elaborate on what I've said, and equally good success principles that will help you too. So stick around for the link to the 3 free gifts. So onwards. Now, I have been involved with 247 book type projects. So this was a picture taken by my brother a few days ago with just some of the books that I have worked with or written myself. This is in the room. You probably recognize the room behind my screen. So you're standing on a chair. And so I've created 27 of my own books with more ready soon. So one of them is called $1 Billion Book Titles, How to Craft Killer Book Titles with Ease and Grace. Another one is called Pain, Pleasure, Profit, How to Create a Potent Page Turn, Delivers on its Promise. And here is Simon with those books at his home, because I sent them across to him. So here is somebody you would recognize, which is Jeff Bezos, who until recently was the CEO, but has stepped down now. And Amazon has grown massively, obviously over the last couple of years, because of the issues with lockdown. But also one of the big reasons it's grown is it keeps making minor changes to get better and better. So Amazon is now worth about $1.5 trillion because more people are buying from it and spending more money. So why has Amazon been so successful? And for me, the big factor is what I call the F factor. And F stands for frictionless as opposed to friction. And the reason is that it's because everything is easy than ever to buy from Amazon. So for example, delivery can be next day or even the same day. And occasionally, depending on where you are in the country or the world, you can get delivery within an hour or two. It's quite extraordinary. So people go to Google for free information, but they go to Amazon to buy that information. So Amazon is like a search engine where everyone is there to buy something. So like I have a paid for service that I pay for, where I can find out how many people in the last month have searched for dementia, or they've searched for skin conditions like psoriasis, or they've looked at the word cysts. So we know how many people are actually going on Amazon. They're typing it in, they're seeing what's available, and they're buying. And of course, this is happening billions of times a day. And it's also easy than ever to sell on Amazon, because just as it's easy to buy, Amazon makes it super easy to sell, which is important for you to know. So it's now easier to make money with Amazon than ever, because Amazon works so hard to make every step easy. So one question you could ask is, well, knowing that it's so easy, should I offer ebooks or products like pills and potions and gadgets? Because there are people selling opportunities like that. But I think there's a problem with pills and potions and gadgets, and that's that there's so many competitors. And when there are so many competitors, you end up competing on price. And then you have to build relationships with companies in the Far East to manufacture these products. And then you have to pay for the stock in advance. And then you've got to store the stock in Amazon's warehouses or in your own warehouse and ship these out. And that's a lot of manual labor, and there's a lot of risk involved. So that's why I think the ebook route is the easiest. Very easy to do. So Amazon sells about 70% to 80% of all physical books sold in the UK and USA. So in other words, there's not that many independent bookshops now and chains, because so many books have gone through Amazon, and nearly 100% of all ebooks, because most people are buying Kindle ebooks. And there's a few tiny other little sites like blurb.com and Smashwords, but really Amazon takes the lion's share. Now, what is important to know is that there's no cost to upload an ebook to Amazon. It's completely free. And the reality is, when it comes to ebook publishing, you never need to pay Amazon anything. That's just the way it's set up. It's extraordinary. And the other thing which you may not realize is that Amazon will turn a PDF of your ebook into a printed paperback. So some people, there's lots of writers out there that are publishing ebooks, but what they don't realize, with just a tiny little extra bit of time, you can actually have a paperback version as well. And Amazon makes that super simple. So Amazon manufactures your book in minutes on a machine that looks like a large color photocopier as each order comes in for your book. This is called POD, or print on demand. And here is what the machine looks like. So at the left-hand side, the PDF goes in to the machine based when somebody orders your book as a paperback, and then it the machine spits out a book on the other end. In this case, one of mine's like billion-dollar book titles. Yes. So it's not like Amazon's going to store lots of stock of your book initially. They're literally manufacturing the book as the order comes in, and it just takes minutes to print. So as long as your Kindle ebook is 24 pages or more, and it doesn't need to be that many pages, it can be less, but as long as it's 24 pages, you can offer a paperback version too at a higher price, because people expect to pay more because it's paperback. Now, you never pay Amazon anything. They take all the money for a Kindle ebook or a paperback and simply deduct their costs and pay you your profits. So if Amazon gets to see like, oh my gosh, you know, Janice, there's someone called Janice on the call here, there's John and so on. So if your book is selling, let's say, imagine it gets to 100 sales a day, then you're not having to pay any money out. Amazon simply print those books, store them if necessary, sell them, and simply give you your profits. So people are making fortunes in every niche, from anxiety to depression, insomnia, weight loss, exercising, using items around the home, and more. So even if there are many books on a subject, you might think, well, is there room for another book about blank? So how can I explain that there is a gap in the market? Always is gaps. And I thought I'd show you this photograph. And this is me with Mike. Oh, and it was Mike, you see here, who took that photograph earlier. I showed you of me with all my books. And this is him in his home. And behind him, you can see all these books. And what they are is cookery books. So there's 35 in one row there. And just below, near his right arm, is a cookbook calendar too. And he's got tons of other books across the other side of the room and down by the side in a cupboard, because he's such an aficionado when it comes to cooking. He adores cooking. So he's the primary cook in his family. So the answer is yes, there's always room for another book in any hungry niche, as people always want another angle. And people want the latest updates. Things change, information changes, research changes. The ways that we teach things changes, the ways a book looks changes. So never worry that a market is saturated. It simply isn't. There's always a gap. So here's the thing, and Claire talked about it easy because it appealed to her just in the intro before I started speaking, which is books need to be thin nowadays as people have little time. So a book needs to be read in an hour or less. So the days of 7 habits for highly effective people, we want to know each book could be a habit, or the parenting compendium, everything you need to know about being a great parent and making pancakes for your children and getting, going to parent-teacher interviews. We haven't got the time for that now. We want to solve individual problems like bedwetting with with a teenage child, for example, very niche. So here's the 1-1-1-1 principle for ebook success. I think this will really help you, which is solve one problem for one person, offering one great solution, and you create this ebook or have it created for you in one sitting. So that means you sit down or you pay a freelance sit down. They start writing your ebook to solve a problem, and then they don't get up until they finished and it's actually gone. And Claire talked earlier about how much time she spent with Simon, and Simon's always been saying, just get it done. What's the next stage? Get that done. And she's learned a lot from him in that approach. And that really is a great secret. And I say the narrow problem could be toilet training for a young boy, equally for a young girl. And as I talked about other issues like dementia and so on, narrow issues, how to deal with a parent who's got Alzheimer's and so on. A fascinating quotation I came across is from a 1993 movie called Philadelphia. And this is what the DVD looks like. So you can see on the right-hand side there that it's Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks. You see Tom Hanks again in the back. He's playing he works for a business, but what happens is there's a legal case and he goes to see the lawyer played by Denzel Washington and trying to explain his case. And Denzel's character says, explain this to me like I'm a 2-year-old, okay? So he understands the case. So the book that you have created, needs to be simply written. So say a 10 or 11-year-old can understand it. And the truth is that there's lots of books out there on topics like, say, dementia and some medical books that are quite complex to read. They expect a certain level of knowledge. So you have an opportunity to create an ebook that cuts to the quick and actually solves a direct problem there and then without a lot of introduction. We're time short nowadays. So here's a book called A Message to Garcia. It's a paperback you can get on Amazon. It's 14 pages. It'll only take you 11 minutes to read it because it's only got 2,200 pages. It actually took the author 1 hour to write, and yet several million copies have been distributed. The reason is it's got a very powerful message, one core message, solving one problem the audience has, and people go away and go, wow, and then they recommend it to other people. Here's another one called This Is Water. It's got 135 pages, but actually it's the 22-minute speech of 4,000 words. And there's only a few words on each page or a sentence on each page. And as I say, it's a 22-minute speech, and you can go to YouTube and actually listen to this speech called This Is Water. It's a commencement speech from an author called David Foster Wallace. And it's been typed up, tidied up, and turned into this hardback book called This Is Water. And there it's got 142 on average 4-star reviews. So, and that would have done like 6 figures in terms of sales because it's a super book. Now, here's someone who's doing super well with super thin ebooks by following the approach of solving one problem, a list of winning steps using simple language, as I explained in my 1111 principle. And this is a guy called Martin Avis, and we're standing, you might see at the back, it's, what's that? Embankment is the tube station behind. In the center of London, you see an edge of a British London bus. And Martin created this book. It's called The Kickstart Ultra Simple Weight Loss Plan, How I Lost 50 Pounds in 90 Days. So you see it's got ratings. And the core material is 1 page of text on the Kindle ebook, 1 page of text. Martin added an introduction and a set of bonus dieting tips to elaborate, because his approach to losing 50 pounds was pretty straightforward, but he wanted to explain it step by step. And he told me this: it took me 2 hours, Chris, to create this ebook. I'm making good money every month, and it should earn me money every month forever, because there's no reason why it won't, because people are typing into Amazon, lose weight. They're seeing this, go, ooh, and clicking on it to buy it, because so many people are searching. A small proportion of buying his ebook. Now, here's a big surprise for you. It's this. In the top right corner of Amazon page, it says, you see that it says Kindle Unlimited. Over 1 million titles. Read this ebook for £0, $0, or you can buy the ebook for £2.30, which is about $3. And this is what Kindle Unlimited is. It's unlimited reading, unlimited listening, any device, 1 million titles. And here there's an offer for 3 months of Kindle Unlimited. So you can download and read as many Kindle Unlimited ebooks as you want. And after 3 months, you pay a nominal fee of £7.99 or $9.99, and then you stop whenever you want. But here's something that you won't know, is that Martin is making more money from people reading on Kindle Unlimited as he gets paid from people reading the whole ebook. He also gets paid for each page of his ebook that's read. So he gets a proportion of all the $7.99s or $9.99 around the world from multiple millions of people. So all Amazon does is it totals up all the money that it's earned and divides it between all the pages that are read. So in other words, if 1,000 people download your Kindle ebook, and of those people, on average, they're reading 1 or 2 or 3 pages, let's say, it doesn't matter how many pages, then you are going to get a share of all those multiple millions. It's as simple as that. So there are 3 options to create your ebook. You can write it yourself, you can outsource the whole of it, or a mixture of the 2. And just so you know, because of getting things, the concept get things done fast, I think the worst option is to write it yourself. You know, there's something about speed, which is what Claire talked about earlier, in the way that learning what she's learned from working with Simon for the last several years. So you can make great profits from just the book and ebook sales. But if you want, and this is just a choice, you can make more money by getting buyers to join your email list, because your email list, there's a way at the beginning of the ebook to do that, and selling them higher priced digital products or coaching as a consequence. So Martin, with his weight loss book, just makes money from ebook sales, but here's someone who makes extra money from what are called back-end offers. So this is a guy called Rob Cubon, who actually is a digital nomad. So he travels around the Far East, working out of cafes, staying in Airbnb type properties, cheap properties in the area. And he loves that nomadic lifestyle. And he came, you might recognize the layout, but this is, he came to my home once and talked to me about all his success with books, and I videoed him and find out more about what he was doing. And here is one of the books that he sells. It's called Running a Web Design Business from Home. Lots of reviews, again, available on Kindle Unlimited. He also has this one, Create the Website You Want with WordPress. It's a very simple graphic on the front cover. Again, lots of reviews, Kindle Unlimited again. But inside the ebook and inside the paperback, he offers a link for a very simple free gift. People then sign up to his email list. He then sends emails out. He makes them offers, and as a consequence, generates up to 6 figures a year. So in the case of a paperback, obviously people type in the domain name for the free gift. Yes, like clairelouiseperry.com/free gift, if that's the website. And then in the ebook version, you actually click on that link itself. Yeah, and get direct access to the gift. So the key is that the link for the free gift is live on the ebook version, so people can click on the link on Amazon and join your list without even having to buy your ebook first. Yes. So Rob says Amazon is the most innovative e-commerce platform in the world, and you need to be there. Publish and you will see results. Absolutely. So here's someone else who has done brilliantly with the back end. This is a guy called Erlen Bakker on the right-hand side. We're sharing food here in a restaurant in London that sells very unusual meats and crickets you eat, and buffalo meat and kangaroo meat. Anyway, he wrote this book called Never Work Again, Work Less, Earn More, and Live Your Freedom. Again, available on Kindle Unlimited, but 165,000 copies on paperback and Kindle, 165,000, all through Amazon, self-published. People signed up to Erlen's email list, and he made a 6-figure profit as a result of this, what called back end. So thousands as well are making a fortune on Amazon, and most use pen names, because there's something about pen names which is important to know, because they mean you can hide your identity. You can keep your success a secret. The other thing is you can publish in different niches. So you could publish in the personal development niche under one pen name, and say under the weight loss niche in another, and on the exercise niche in another niche. And sometimes you might want to change gender. So if you're a woman, you might want to go into a male niche because there's an interest in there. Or if you're a female, you want to put a male name against your book for a male market, perhaps. So here is a book called The Cuckoo's Calling by an author called Robert Galbraith. And you may or may not know that Robert Galbraith is actually this person, J.K. Rowling, who is the author, of course, you can see in the background, if you don't recognize her face, Harry Potter. So J.K. Rowling took the name Robert Galbraith from one of her personal heroes, Robert Kennedy, and a childhood fantasy name she had invented for herself, Ella Galbraith. So know that you can publish as many ebooks as you want, and nobody will know it's you, which is great. So you can have, if you have a full-time job or you've got other interests, you want to separate the two from your other business. So wherever possible, get others to do the work. As I said earlier, it's a lot more productive if you get outsource this work, because you can that way publish lots of books and make a lot of money. So outsourcing saves you time and money, but it's also a terrific investment. You can spend, say, $50 to get some writing done and make 5 or 10 times that back within weeks. So here's a photograph of me with a client of mine, Sarah Starr, and she's giving me £10, And as the consultant, as the problem solver, I give her back £20. So she doubles her money, as it were. And that's what we're doing with outsourcers. We pay them X and they give us, we make more money as a result from their work. So turning $10 into $20 or more is a far better home for your money than in a savings account with single figure percentage returns over a year. So it's a great investment. So the big lesson is you pay small amounts to outsourcers and you make big profits. Now you may have the following objection to that, which is, but Chris, I've seen some outsourced work and it's simply not brilliant. So here is a Photoshop job where a husband and wife with 3 children got a outsourced worker to tidy up the faces, to get rid of shadows. And I think you would agree that this is not a great job. And you can see it even more in these close-ups. And it's laughable how bad this work is, but there is some bad work around. There's a science fiction author called Theodore Sturgeon, and he said this: 90% of science fiction is crud. That's because 90% of everything in crud is crud. And Sturgeon's law, as it became, is so well known that it even has its own entry on Wikipedia. 90% of everything is crud. So, you'll see a restaurant reviewer who says 90% of restaurants just aren't that great, but 10% are just awesome. And of course, a restaurant reviewer will point you to the 10% that are awesome. And Claire talked about review sites earlier. There's a lot of not great garages, but there are a few that are just incredible. And that's, of course, where we want to take our business. So many outsourced workers are very highly educated. It's just finding them. So this is Farah, who does terrific work for me. Yes, so she's my virtual assistant. Claire was talking earlier about hers. Farah did a 4-year psychology degree at the University of the Philippines. She graduated in the top 7% of her graduating class, yet she set her rate at a website called Upwork.com at $3 an hour. So she does brilliant work for me and given me far more than I asked for. Just awesome. This is a guy called Manu who is in India. And he's done some fabulous work for me too, but you can see his laptop that he works on his desk. But if you follow the flex behind him, you can see that the mains lead goes up to the ceiling rather than down into the skirting board area. And outside, if you look outside, it's like the house is raised up from the general area of the ground below. This is his home. And the reason is, in the area where he lives, there's massive rainfall and flooding. So these are the countries where the cost of living is very low. So there are terrific workers in countries where the cost of living is very low. So you just need to go to the right sites, choose carefully and brief them well. So the thing is, if they don't do a fabulous job, you do get all your money back. So whether you go to the likes of Fiverr.com or Upwork.com, you're actually paying money. You're only actually transferring the money to the worker once you say the work is fabulous. Yes, if it's not fabulous, you ask them to improve it. And if it's not, they don't improve it, you don't pay. So let me give you an example of great outsourcing. So this is a guy called Robert Morgan. He's 74. He wanted to create an ebook and book on public speaking. So where can you get covers designed? So you go to Fiverr.com. Here you can see I will design a book cover or ebook cover. The worker is called Mohammed Mustafa. And if you look, there's 6 books there, and the middle of the top row is a book called Wise Up. And you'll see you might just be able to see Christopher John Payne, more obvious here. So these are examples of work that he's done. You can see the front and the back. It shows it's a hardback, but actually it's only paperback. So this is just one of my 27 books, and he did the cover for me. And here are some others on affiliate marketing that he's done. He's done lots of book covers. So Robert got this cover on the right, created by Mustafa. Prepare, produce, present, how to write and deliver a killer speech that wows, inspires, and captivates your audience. So beautiful cover. Yes, for a nominal fee. All done, very professional. Robert wrote some of the ebook and book himself, but then got a writer on Upwork.com to tidy up the words, improve the grammar and spelling, and then add on extra words, extra sections. So several chapters in the book were written by the freelance worker. Then Robert added illustrations to the ebook and book to bulk out the ebook, which means fewer words need to be written by a writer. Yes. So here's what Upwork looks like. Maybe you're more familiar with Fiverr.com if you've got anything done there. And this is where you find great talent. And I know there's 5 million workers available there. So here's just some of the people you can see that are available. You get a list of people that match your job. So what you do on Upwork is you say what the job is that you want, and then people bid. And in this case, Robert found this person, Jian, in the Philippines. And if you look on the right-hand side, the fee of $3 an hour. And I got Jian to send me his photograph. So he did this selfie for me. And I said, would you send me a picture, Jian, of the work you've done for Robert? And here is him using his Wacom tablets to draw images on screen. Here's that image finished. And here's another one. You can see here, practice your speech in front of your iPhone. Yes, so you get good to see how you look on camera. And also you can give speeches while, at a dinner or at a wedding. So these are images that you put in the book. As I say, this extraordinary great work costs just $3 an hour. And it makes your book and an ebook look fabulous, which leads to more back-end sales. Yes, and people recommend the book and they review the book and give it a 5-star review, because adding a couple of cheap illustrations inside, it almost adds like polishes your words even more. Yes, so people are more enamored to give you a 5-star review. So Robert offers a very simple free PDF that he had created on Fiverr that he puts at the beginning of his book, and that builds a list of buyers. So he can then offer them higher priced affiliate offers he can find on the likes of ClickBank. So in the case of public speaking, there are $100, $200, $500 public speaking courses offering a 50% affiliate commission, and Robert can make money from that should he wish to. So Amazon will do everything it can to ensure your book gets noticed, because they just want people to buy as many books as possible. So if people are looking at your book, they're saying, oh, why don't you buy this book as well? Amazon will show your book when people use the search box. And of course, billions of searches are happening every day on wide and narrow topics. And it will show your book below other books in a section like customers who viewed this item also viewed this book. And Amazon will also email buyers of similar books to let them know that your book has been published in a similar subject area, the same subject area. But you can also drive even more traffic to your page should you wish using a low-cost Fiverr gig. So here is a woman called Jenny Ledeen, and she created this book called Thrifty and Thriving, 10 Simple Ways to Put Money Back in Your Pocket Today using my help. And Jenny has a full-time job and worked on a book in just a few minutes each day. Her family had no idea that she was working on this ebook and book. And this is her with her husband and son and 2 daughters. And Jenny promoted her book using a few very low-cost Fiverr gigs, so $5 to promote. So here's one, it's called on fire. It's called, I will do a professional Kindle promotion to 150,000 readers. Yes. Now that promotion led to hundreds of downloads in just a single day and lots of top rated reviews. So as Claire talked about earlier, we want to have, and she was talking about, a minimum of 5 reviews. Makes a difference. Yes. So outsource as much as possible, and frankly, and preferably everything. So for example, you can use PLR, private label rights, and other licensed material. That's something like outsourcing the rights, because it's PLR, that you may have on your computer, or you can buy it for a few dollars. However, you can't use PLR material as is, because Amazon spots duplicate content. So you need to do something to change it. But you can use outsourced workers to rewrite the text and elaborate on it. Yes. Add free illustrations, which I'll talk about. There's free illustrations around the internet you can use. You can get outsourced workers to add current research and examples. They, of course, have talked about designing an attractive cover. They can turn, a freelance worker will turn a Word doc file into a Kindle ebook file called EPUB. Equally, to turn the Kindle ebook into a paperback of the right size. Very easy to do, very simple job. And equally, they can promote the book for you, because often they have lists like the 150,000 list we talked about earlier. So if you have an idea for an ebook, you can get fascinating free content generated using artificial intelligence at a website called talktotransformer.com. So if you're looking for free text, like ideas, you go here. So there's Talk to Transformer. It's called a neural network. You type in something like how to create a book on membership sites, or what are the important factors on membership. You type that in, you click on the complete text, and it actually, this artificial intelligence network generates loads of text on that subject, or what are the ways to solve or to help somebody with dementia, and it'll churn out tons and tons of text for you. Of course, you can't use this text as is, because there will be some imperfect bits in there, but I generated nearly 5,000 words on a topic recently, and there were some brilliant ideas and phrases that allowed me to structure my book and then get an outsourced worker to elaborate on those texts for me. So here's an example of someone who used freely available information online to get a recipe book created. This is Nadine Webb, and she used a pen name, Madeleine Leblanc, because she's French, and the book is called Sugar-Free Desserts, Delicious Recipes for Any Celebration or Children's Party. Inside are the recipes. You can see the ingredients, the directions. There's the photograph as well. Here's another one for a no-bake sugar-free cheesecake. And all the recipes and the photographs were outsourced as one job at a very low cost. And then it's just publishing it on Amazon. So here's somebody else, Ronnie Palmer, and he's a British guy who now lives in New York, and he outsourced the writing of a book. And here it is, it's called How to Beat Alcoholism by Ronald Norman Palmer, Walking Your Road to Recovery and Joy, again available on Kindle Unlimited for those who are there. Looking inside, when you click on the look inside button, you can see it's got color photographs in it. You can see on the Kindle version here with the idea that you study on a daily basis to reduce your alcoholism, and you can write a journal each day. So there's an image here about writing journalism so that you keep away from alcohol. Now, Ronnie outsourced the whole of the writing of the book and got all the photos for free at a website called unsplash.com, unsplash.com. So completely royalty free. All Ronnie did was he wrote the first 2 pages, just a few hundred words of his personal story of being an alcoholic and then stopping drinking. So he just did the first introduction. That was it. So what is the potential for outsourcing book creation? Just how successful can you be? Here's a woman called Christine Clayfield, and she uses pen names too, like we talked about here with Madeleine LeBlanc and of course J.K. Rowling, rather than using her real name. And one of the books that she published is called Silkies, or Silky Chickens as Pets. See there, £13.97. It's about $16 in hardback. And she comes up with the idea for the book. She outsources the writing. She outsources the cover design. She outsources the upload of the files to Amazon. So one example is a book that she had created called Pigeon Passion, $19.95. In 1 month, sales were 162. So that's roughly, what's that? 30 sales. So 30 days, just three sales a day. And her profit was $1,294 that month. This means that for every $10 that she spent, she got her money back in just over a week and tripled her investment in 1 month. And sales continued to come in month after month. Now, you can rest on your laurels once you've published a book on Amazon and just sit back and take the profits, or you invest your profits back into creating more books and ebooks. So this is what Christine did. So these are very narrow niches: teacup pigs or micro pigs, eating insects, mini goats, lizards as pets. And then she went on: peafowl, sheep poo, coonhound, miniature horse. Remember, all this work is outsourced. You can see they've all got the same author, Elliot Lang, but they are having written by different people because she'll either use the same writer or different writers. And again, Maltipoo dog, pygmy hedgehogs, African dwarf frogs, and so on. And then she's also in a different niche, which is health, like pain in the thumb, arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, repetitive strain injury, but using a different pen name because it's a different niche, Lucy Rudford. So how much money do you think she brought in during 1 year? Few $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. Well, actually, she brought in $1.8 million in a year. That's a lot of money. So you could do this. It's simply a rinse and repeat process. So here's a quick summary. There's massive potential to build a list using super thin ebooks and books on Amazon make affiliate offers should you wish. Highly qualified and talented outsourcers are eager to help you, and you can use a pen name to hide your name so nobody knows it's you. And the steps: you choose a niche, you outsource a super thin ebook, you upload to Amazon, and doing nothing else, you are going to get sales on an ongoing basis, because the vast majority of people on Amazon don't do anything to promote that book, and it's a machine that just churns out sales. Now, optional things you can do for extra profits. You can use Fiverr.com to create a free one-page gift. You add a link so people can get the gift at the beginning of your book or ebook. And I say it's a hot link if it's Amazon, so people click on it and go to the site, enter the email, get the link. And then as a result, you can offer these people affiliate products should you wish. But if you look at what Christine's doing with her 1.8 million, she's not doing any of this. She's not building any lists. So it is not necessary. It's just you knowing that you can do it. So I want you to imagine you with your own thin ebooks and paperbacks and selling hundreds or thousands of copies. It's all about having a system that works. So here is the front page of a newspaper. If you're outside the UK, it's a British newspaper. It's called the Daily Star. And the front page news, and she still said yes. And the story goes that romantic Albert spelled out "marry me" in candles to propose to his girlfriend. but he burnt down their flat. And this is what he did, a photograph. You can see on the carpet, he laid out some tea lights, lit each one, and then nipped out to pick up his girlfriend to bring her back, and then to see all these beautiful candles and the balloons and so on, and then burnt the place down, but she still agreed to marry him. And there's a lesson from this, which is follow tried and tested systems and rules of thumb. And one of the rules that he broke was never leave a naked flame unattended. So it's a rule that he probably knew, but he thought, nah, I'll be all right. But you never do that. Just as we know with I've got children, which is you never leave a child in a bathroom unattended in the bath. It's just with a rule ever. And of course, because we know there's some sad stories. So here's what I call the life jacket principle, which is me on holiday. And when my son was younger, and we went out on a boat, on a motorboat ride, and he took over the controls at one point. And in the life jacket principle, you need a way to ensure you're always safe, wearing life jackets as we were, so that you never drown, because it's very easy to burn money, try things out that don't work, going to niches where there's no demand. The alternative of getting help is that you go it alone, and that could mean you drown, losing time, money, and motivation. And I would love to be your life jacket so you make good money quickly using a guaranteed success system, because you need a step-by-step plan and someone to keep you on track day after day, week after week, churning out these ebooks. So I've created a unique program. It's called the Effort-Free Amazon Profits System. It's an elegant and graceful way for you to make money with Amazon with no hype, real results, decent money. And it's a system where almost everything is done for you. So all the steps you need to outsource everything or almost everything. And it's using quality outsourced workers, freelancers who do a brilliant job for you, sometimes within hours while you sleep, because often they're in the other side of the world. And that's what I do. I go to bed, brief a worker, go to bed, wake up the next day, and the work is done. And you can launch a winning Kindle ebook within as little as 4 days from now. And you can launch, should you wish, the paperback version too for free. It's a really simple process, and I provide the templates to make that super easy. So one thing I want to teach is the swimming pool analogy. I mean, have you ever taken a very young child to the swimming pool for the very first time to get them comfortable in the water? We get them to jump off the side of the pool, but really they're only jumping an inch or two into our arms, and then we dip them very slightly into the water and catch them so they're safe. And then we step back slowly, slowly, slowly until they're able to jump into the pool with confidence, and we let them go under the water and bring them up. And that's how we get children comfortable in the water, so they go from fear to success and happiness. And here's me on holiday with my two boys and a bit younger. This is us in Dubai. And here, my youngest, Felix, underwater, very comfortable in my arms, with our photograph being taken by one of the guys working in the hotel. And my eldest son, Toby, he has now 80 medals for swimming, and he was actually swimming in the Emirates at a swimming pool there. Now, I want to do the same for you and help you take each very simple step so you feel safe and confident, so you go from a complete beginner to an expert making great money on Amazon. So one of the modules that's available for you is called the 2-hour ebook system. It's a simple step-by-step approach so you can create a minimum size ebook that is guaranteed to sell month after month in creating just 2 hours. It's a step-by-step process where you can either do it yourself in the 2 hours or how to get somebody else to do it. I'll even get my virtual assistant, Farah, to design the cover for you for the ebook for free as a gift. There's another module called 137 Lucrative Niches. It's a list I personally compile of the most lucrative niches where you make the most money, bang for your buck, plus reports showing you how many people search Amazon each month for that subject. So for example, one of my clients wanted to do a book on scleroderma. And she said, is there any interest in this subject? Because she had this, it's an inflammation of the finger joints. So I did a search on a special site that costs a lot of money. And it's a paid for service. And it turns out 6,700 people are searching for the word scleroderma on Amazon. And so we knew that that was a market. And so she's created the book and it's doing well. So effort-free outsourcing module, how to get brilliant workers to do super work for you within just a few days, including fill in the blanks to guarantee the very best work and a list of tried and tested outsourcers so you can publish immediately on Amazon. So everything thought through for you. There's also a module called the PLR to Kindle ebook system, how to get an outsourced worker to quickly rewrite any PLR material you may have or you can download by searching for it and turn it into a superb ebook. So they're not starting from absolute scratch. So there's tons of PLR out there that can be very quickly rewritten, very low cost, that can be put onto Amazon for you to make money. And you will get our lifetime access to all this training. So what's this worth? So the Amazon Profits course system, the 2-hour ebook, 137 lucrative niches, outsourcing PLR system. So let's imagine 997 for the first, 497 for the next two, for the outsourcing 997, for the PLR system 497. That's a total of $3,500 of value. Plus, I'm going to give you webinars each month over the next year to help guarantee your success with all your questions answered. So let's imagine they're worth $197 each for each of those webinars. 12 of those, let's say that's worth $2,500. So here's one webinar done on Zoom, showing off one book here, this book called Value You by Anne Groom, 7 Steps to Overcome Low Self-Esteem, showing off on how to make ensure this successful. So this is how this cover was done by Mustafa as well. Now I'll promote your ebooks to all the other members so I can guarantee you'll get sales and honest reviews, because we need to be always completely ethical. You know, it's very important we keep straight. 1 year of email support is available to you. You can ask me any question, any number of questions, send me as many emails as you want. I'll be your daily and weekly guide on the site, playfully encouraging with no judgment. There's no need for me to judge you because I know what it's like to start from scratch. I started in my business knowing absolutely nothing. So you might say, I'm planning to do this, Chris. What do you think? And I may say, no, don't do it that. Here's why. Do this thing instead, and you'll make more money and faster. So one UK internet marketer charges $997 a month for email coaching. So let's halve that and say that my email support is $497 a month. That's worth $6,000 a year to you. Yes. So what's all this work? If we add all that up, that's a total of nearly $13,000 of value. So there's also some free bonuses if you act right now. So best-selling books need to have brilliant titles. So here I've created something called the effort-free book title generator. You type in a keyword like scleroderma, and the generator creates 347 titles based on 2010 brilliant books that I found on Amazon. This is something that I created myself, which is a lot of work, but I loved it because I could see there was a pattern to the best-selling titles. So there's also the book subtitle generator. That goes what goes below the title, elaborates on what the book's about. And this generator shows 132 killer subtitles, fill in the blanks based on dozens of keywords, based on hundreds of brilliant books on Amazon. So you just fill in the blank and fill in your word like scleroderma into one of the subtitles so it'd be clear what this book is about. So this is a person called Patrick Maloney. He wrote a book called Quit Smoking, using the pen name Paul Metcalf. Chris's title and subtitle generators instantly provide you with a huge number of potential titles for your book based on best-selling books on Amazon. As soon as you enter your keyword, the sheet is filled with suggestions. Brilliant. And Patrick has gone on to produce a number of books since producing Quit. What are these generators worth that I spent many days creating? Well, maybe $497 seems fair for the amount of work I did. You also get the two books I showed you earlier, $1 Billion Book Titles and Pain, Pleasure, Profit. They will be mailed to your home. So if you're in the UK, you'll literally get the book within 24 hours. If you're overseas, a little bit longer. So you also get a 1-hour Zoom video call with me worth $450. That's what I charge the likes of Sarah Starr you saw earlier. And I'll ask you some simple questions on the call, and happily, I'll gift you a killer book title, subtitle, and steps to get your ebook written fast. I so want you to succeed. So of course, you'll get access to brilliant outsourced workers I found and use all the time. So this is Namie. There's a whole range of books that you can see there, Frank and Fearless and so on. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10, just 10 of the books that she's helped me with, like proofreading for people where you've got spelling mistakes. So she's available to help you. You've got Jian. You saw the illustrations for the public speaking book earlier. You saw that for Robert. You've got Doreen. She's also a great editor if you've got any text that needs tidying up. There's Ahmet. You can see he's with his computer screen there. That actually got an elephant on the front, which is one of my books. He's a brilliant layout guy. And in the bottom left-hand corner there is Farah. I said that she will design an ebook cover for you for free. And she's brilliant, and show you the process as well. And you get a 1-year money-back guarantee. So you're going to have access to all this material. You can email me for a year. You can have Farah do the work for you. Got the Zoom calls. You got the one-on-one calls, still with a 1-year money-back guarantee. What I insist on is that you be delighted 3, 6, or 9 months from today. There's a lot of people out there that just disappear with your money once they've got it. And I have been had that happen to me. And what we want, I just want to give you the very best help I possibly can. In summary, you get all this, including the book title generators and the 1-hour video call. And I say it's worth $13,000, nearly $800. So it's not that amount of money. It's only $997 if you live outside the UK and EU, and £797 plus VAT if you're in the UK. So here again is me with just some of the books that I've written or been involved with. And I'd love to add your books to the bottom of that row, so I've got even more. Gosh knows how I'm going to get them all into the page, but I would love to show your books off too. Here's a book called Going Solo. It's a proven formula to drive tons of traffic, written by Trevor Greenfield. Here's Trevor's testimony. He writes, "Thank you, Chris, as always, for your valuable insights. I'm so excited and genuinely privileged to be part of your program and working with you." He's absolutely fabulous guy, churning out. He's just working on another book at the moment. This is Ronald I showed you earlier with his How to Beat Alcoholism. I have sales already. Can you believe? Wow, now the book is finally out there. I feel so elated I did it. The best move I made was joining your program. Without your mentoring support, I doubt I would ever have written this book. Belonging to the group and listening to other members' comments also gave me encouragement. I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, it's Ronald who actually only wrote the first 2 pages on his book on alcoholism. Everything else was outsourced. And Jenny, you saw earlier, thanks to Chris for his insight and encouragement. He had enormous patience too. I have learned so much and grown to love the process. I would have quit for sure without you, Chris. That's very sweet. Here's another guy, this is Colin Platt. He's written a book called Healing Health for Honeybees. His second book has just gone live 2 days ago on Amazon. He was 84 yesterday, and you can see my Pain, Pleasure, Profit book sticking out from behind, which he very kindly did there. So that's my book in the middle. Here's Robert with his book, Prepare, Produce, Present. He sent this to me. This is a letter he posted to me. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Here's the 60-page version of my book. I'm so excited. It's all down to you. I'm 74 years of age, and this is probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. Thank you so much, my best, Robert Morgan. And he told me that when his book arrived, his wife had no idea. She said, "Who's did this book?" He said, "It's mine. It's mine. I created it." And she had no idea. His wife had no idea. And he said this to me: "I kept on doing what Chris told me to do, and it has paid off. I will never be able to thank him enough. Do what he says, and you will be as excited as a 5-year-old on Christmas Day." Well, of course, Christmas is coming up in a month's time. And you will be rewarded with a professional looking book you can be proud of. Chris, I can't thank you enough. So I want to show off your book. So I will do whatever it takes to help you get published fast and making money. I'm willing to put in a ton of work far beyond your investment to help you succeed. So as I say, you got all this material. It's worth, I believe, a total of $13,700, but your investment is just $997 outside UK. The website to go to is effortfreeonlinesuccess.com. effortfreeonlinesuccess.com. Of course, you don't put the space in between, and of course, no both. This is what it looks like. There's a picture of me. There's a list of just some of the things you will get. There's a countdown timer at the top of the page because this offer I'm closing tomorrow night. The buy now buttons are below. You go, you click on the left-hand button or the right-hand button, and you'll get the following appear. You enter in your name, your email address, how you want to pay. Click on complete the order, and you'll get immediate access to all the content. And it's all very simply laid out for you. Text, some short videos, photographs. So every step is nice and clear. And Farah's done some brilliant work to ensure everything is clear. So we've worked very hard to do that for you. Now, I asked Jenny Ledeen to type up her very best secret tips for you. So if you go to effortfreeonlinesuccess.com, whether you want to invest in this program or not, you scroll to the bottom of the page and you'll see Jenny's 10 best tips, 10 superb tips from Jenny Ledeen of the book Thrifty and Thrived, which I asked her to create for you. And it looks like this. You can see it's got some outsourced images there for you. So 10 top tips for you about book publishing success. There are also 2 other gifts. There's the 5 Frogs principle to make some tips to make progress quickly in anything to do with online success, and the Polar Bear Principle ebook, another book, ebook I've created, how to make money by thinking smartly. Now, this offer will disappear at midnight tomorrow, so please sign up now. The time is short. If you don't get this offer now and you want to get it later, the price will either increase to $1,997, or I will take modules out and sell them separate, so you have to pay extra to get those modules, because there's some other bits like the how to use affiliate marketing and so on, which is separate from Amazon. You won't get one-on-one email access to me. I just simply won't have time. This is just a special offer I'm opening just for today and tomorrow. So here's a book called The Dot, which I bought for my youngest son when he was 3. And it only has 336 words in it. And it tells the story of this little girl called Vashti. And she's been asked to do some drawing and she won't do it. So the teacher says, don't need to draw anything, just put a single dot on the page. So when she does that, the teacher pushes the paper to Vashti and says, quietly said, now sign it, the dot. Well, when Vashti came into school the next day, the teacher had framed her piece of paper with the single dot in the center. And Vashti thought, I can do better than that. I can do more than one dot. So she painted and painted a yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. She got passionate about doing dots. I'm starting to get emotional again. And at this, the teacher put on a gallery. And at the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. So she went from the very beginning, a single dot, to creating all this artwork. And I want to help you go from a single dot, or even the beginning, before you do a dot, so you create your art gallery, your set of ebooks that are making you money on an ongoing basis, month after month, day after day, all passively created. Now, this book of only 336 words has sold more than 100,000 copies. The fastest way to start making money is to start today with a single dot, and you can get results in as little as a few hours a week. You really can create your first ebook in 2 hours. It's as simple as that. Now, I'll be by your side supporting you as you take each tiny step to create your online business. After all, if Robert, Jenny, and so many others can do this, then you can too, really. You may recognize this guy who is James Taylor, the singer. And there's a lovely line from a song by his brother, who's called Livingston Taylor. And it's this: life is a one-word test, and the answer is yes. Life is a one-word test, and the answer is yes. So say yes, seize this moment and sign up now before this offer closes tomorrow night. You're going to effortfreeonlinesuccess.com. And so you know, you can email me any questions you want right now at hellochrispayne@gmail.com. I'm around today and tomorrow. hellochrispayne@gmail.com. It's only me who sees the email. It's the same email address that my mum uses, and my brothers and sister and my children email me at hellochrispayne, and I'm here to answer any question you have, and of course right now. And that's the end. So let me find my stop sharing. There we go. Are you there, Claire?
I am.
Claire.
I am here.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
So that was excellent. Excellent. We have somebody signed up already, which is exciting.
Whoa.
Excellent. So there are some questions. Did you see the questions in the chat?
Let me see. Go ahead. I pressed the wrong button.
And we've got
Chat,
Q&A.
go ahead.
So
do you want to read them out, Claire? Anything there, so I can just focus on answering?
Lorena says, can we sell somebody else's writings and books?
Can you sell somebody else's writing? Absolutely. So a bit like if she knows somebody and actually lays out the book for them and publish it for them, as it were. Yes, absolutely. So you can actually log into your own account on Amazon. So you're going to kdp.amazon.com, even though most of us are in the UK, and you actually can create the book. And so if their name is you said, like say Louisa or something, Da Silva, then you literally put their name in as the author and upload the book into that. So they can publish, you can publish straight away on Kindle.
Excellent. Thank you, Lorena. She also asks, where do we find people who can create illustrations and images for a book, say a storybook for children?
So to get, like for, yes, you saw the book I showed, the dot. The best place is Upwork, to be honest. If it's just a paperback, like I've got here, like the prepare, produce, present with the images in place, we showed some of them, you'd use Upwork.com. So you lay out what you want. I want an illustration on this, an illustration on that. Generally, I recommend 12 to 15 images that can cost a few dollars each. But what I provide in the members area is how do you brief? What actually is the way to ensure you get the images created, brilliant quality in a couple of days, exactly what you want, and a very sensible price. And all that is laid out. And also the links to these, like the illustrator, should you decide to sign up.
Excellent. Thank you. So Mia says, would you have different pen names for different niches?
Absolutely, Mia, absolutely. So, you know, like we saw, well, a good example, was J.K. Rowling. One of the reasons she didn't, is it Joanna? Joanna, I think it is. She used J.K. was because she was producing a book called Harry Potter, and it was sort of felt that a female author wouldn't sell as well. So that's why it's JK. So often we want to change genders for books as well, or just want to hide a name. So you can have as many pen names as you want for as many niches as you want.
Okay. And how do you create a pen name? Are there any regulations, or do you just make it? There's
no regulations. Literally, you're going into your own account on Amazon, and there is a box which says, what's the title of the book? And then below, what's the author? And you simply put James Smith as the author in there. It's as simple as that. You have as many pen names as you want.
Okay, excellent. When you have multiple pen names, do you also use different publishing accounts on Amazon?
Great question. No, it's just one account. So you only stick with one account. So all your books are listed below each other. So you've got the ebook and then the paperback, ebook, paperbook, paperbook.
Okay, thank you, Marcel, for that question. What other ways to advertise a book except the Fiverr example you have provided? What are the other ways to advertise an ebook except the Fiverr?
Well, the most important to realize is you don't actually need to do any promotion. It's important that people realize that Amazon, I was just looking at, I was talking to Simon earlier this week about a book that I came across. It's done $500,000 in profit with no promotion at all. It's simply organic. But if you want to use Fiverr, there are lots of different ways. And what they do is they have Twitter accounts, they have Facebook accounts with groups with people looking for books in particular niches. There are podcasters, the people with very small podcasts who actually will promote your product on their podcast for $5 or $10. There's equally, they have groups within LinkedIn. They have, as I mentioned, other areas. They have Instagram stuff, Pinterest, all these. There's so many ways you can do. It depends on your niche.
Okay, thank you. Louise says, I have a friend who has created a 2022 calendar. Can we get it onto Amazon, and how would one do it?
Oh, now I have to say there's some things I don't know about. I don't know about calendars. So that's something beyond my skill. I'm purely on books and ebooks. So that's nobody's ever asked me about calendars before.
Okay. Caitlin says, thanks for a great webinar. Just what I need as I want to make money online in the coming months. Can I start my 1 year of email support in 2 months when I have more free time?
Great. So what you're saying is she wants the 1 year of email support, but doesn't want to start like as of today or tomorrow. Absolutely, you can delay it. You can actually log into the training, study all the material, and then when you have time in 2 months' time, then your 1 year of full email support is available. Absolutely, you can do that.
Okay. Another question from Israel was, is it possible to pay by installments within 3 months?
Thank you, Israel. That's a great question. I keep my life as simple as possible. I don't do part payments. It's me and a set of outsourced freelancers around the world. So I don't do anything with part payments. So if you're very keen, hopefully you can find a way so you can pay in one payment before the countdown timer gets to 0 tomorrow at midnight.
Okay. Caroline says, what if I don't have any ideas for a book?
That's a very fair question. Well, what we do is we just get on a 1-hour call. So this is Claire and I doing this on Zoom. So there's an interaction between the two of us. This is what we would do together. We'd simply arrange a time to speak either during the day or evening, even at weekend, because I work at different hours. So I'm very flexible. We will get on a 1-hour call. We will talk. We will come up with something together. If you're really stuck, I will gift you one. We'll come up with something, because it's usually something that's going to have some interest for you. So you like have what I call skin in the game and say, yeah, I'd like to do something like that. And I will show you every step to get it published. No question at all. And remember, there's the daily or weekly emails. You're very welcome to email me. What I do sometimes is either I give you the steps or tell you what to do next, or I'll use a video called Loom, L-O-O-M, and I'll record a video for you and actually explain a process, because sometimes me explaining verbally is a lot easier. And then you've got the video and you can download it and watch it a number of times should you wish. So a personal video reply just for you.
Okay. We have a question about, can we put the slide up again, which has got the list of program features?
Yeah, so let's share screen.
We've got questions all over the place here. They're coming in different, not what was in the chat. So there's that screen.
Oh, yes. So does that, if I do that, that fills the screen. So there's all those. Is that the one you were asking about, Claire?
I think so. I think David is asking for that.
Yeah. David, you can by all means drop me an email at hellochrispayne@gmail.com and just ask me, does the system cover this or that? You know, I'm a very approachable, as you can probably guess. I'm just here to help you. So, and I'll tell you honestly if I don't cover a particular topic. So, you know, and there's other bits that are there. There's some things that I've not listed because I don't want to overwhelm you with stuff. What I want to show you on this list is it's a thorough program. Yeah, everything you need. Yeah, let's quit out of that.
Serena says, what is the name of the website of Talk to Transformer?
Yeah, so it is talktotransformer.net. Let's see if I can find it, just scrolling back through my slides. And I'll find it shortly. So yes, it's a neural network that generates. Yes, so it's TALKTO, talk to transformer.com. And it's using a system called GPT-2 and will generate text for you. It's just I thought it was a little bonus little tip for you. There are other similar ones around as well, which will generate text, but it's often people need ideas. Like I'm thinking about doing a book on dementia. Give me some ideas, and these sites, there are sites around that will generate ideas for you.
Okay. So this came up a bit from my talk, and that was how someone was talking about having a small email list.
Yeah.
how can we use an ebook to build an email list?
Right. So if you, let's give you a good example. So you have a book. So it's easier obviously to show you, but it's the same with an ebook. And so here's one. So you begin the book, you can have a free gifts page. Yeah.
Right.
So you can list out one gift or a series of gifts, and then there's a link to the site at the bottom. And in this case, we've even added a QR code. Yes. So this is a book that I've worked on called Banish the Bottleneck, and this got to number 1. So I didn't show this. So in this case, it's banishthebottleneck.com/free gifts from Simon. So you create a page on your site where people go to it. There is a sign up, you enter an email address, and then there's a confirmation, and then the gift is then emailed to you, or you're taken to what's called a success page where people download a gift. And it could be a checklist from your book. So let's say you've written a 24-page ebook, but then there's a printed checklist. You can go to Fiverr and get that prettified for $5. So your checklist now looks pretty, like the one I showed at the end that Jenny created, where it's pretty with the words, a heading, and then some images on it. They get that, they're now on your email list, and then you can send them emails. Is that nice and clear, Claire? Because you know the audience, audience better.
Good. That was just, I just thought I'd ask that question because that came up earlier.
The one that's worth mentioning is in the case of the ebook, when they're looking on Amazon, so if you go to Amazon.com, if you go to this book, Banish the Bottleneck, for example, that I worked on for Simon, and you click on the look inside for the ebook, when you actually see the link is a hot link, so you literally click on it and go straight to the free gift page. You don't even need to buy a book. So you then get onto Simon's list, and then he will promote things to you. And you'll see that around. It's just like, and that's done automatically by the Kindle file. So all that is I teach, and I will show you. So if it's confusing, don't worry. All the trainings in the online area, but I will hold your hand every step of the way, and I will check the file for you to make sure it's actually working perfectly before you upload it.
Okay, great. What about, the thing is when you think about writing books, sometimes you think, well, maybe I'm not a copywriter, or maybe I haven't got it in me, or maybe I'm not confident enough to do it. You know, all of those things. It seems like maybe you weren't great at school with English or any of these things. Like, does that mean that's not for those kind of people, do you think? Yeah,
I mean, very fair. I mean, you know, a lot of people criticize, have judgments, because often, especially when we get to our age, my age rather, they're not great teaching. And so we judge ourselves, but it doesn't matter. A good example is Simon. I'll show this book again. Simon is very severely dyslexic. He doesn't use capital letters. He doesn't use full stops very well. He uses the wrong word. He spells THE there, THERE incorrectly. It doesn't matter. He's happy for me to share that, because proofreaders, I got a proofreader. He gave me the text. I got it proofread, and I arranged all the work for him. So all of that you outsource.
Okay.
And anything, if somebody says, well, is this good enough quality, Chris? I'll have a look at it.
Excellent. So Angus has a question. Can ebooks be used for promoting affiliate products, e.g. physical and digital products? As I realise that there are usually some restrictions for promoting within affiliate terms and conditions.
Yes, there is nothing stopping you from promoting. At the end of the day, you can there are some ways you can put an affiliate link within a Kindle ebook, so without even growing an email list. But if you are building an email list by people clicking on a link to join your email list, then in most cases, affiliate products can be promoted via email, because of course, that's the way that you promote them. So there's always a way to profit from affiliate promotions. the easiest thing, Angus, is drop me a line at hellochrispayne@gmail.com with any more details on a particular niche, and I'll show you, explain the way to do that very happily.
Excellent. So I think we're coming towards the end of the questions. It looks like we haven't got too many more. Can you proofread the work yourself, or do you get that outsourced?
Yeah, you can proofread yourself, but that can be outsourced, and really for just a few dollars an hour. And the we can think of is there are free products online like Grammarly, yes, okay, which will take a text and go through it and improve it. Now, of course, you can pay a nominal fee to get the super advanced version, but there's a number of grammar and spelling checkers online. So they spot things like IT apostrophe S instead of ITS. So very clever. Oh, Angus is very nice. He's just said, thanks, Chris. We'll send you an email. Fantastic. So there shouldn't be any worry. And it's worth knowing as well that people do publish books on Kindle with spelling mistakes, not necessarily deliberately, just by accident. But people aren't that anal about it when they're buying, because what we're looking at, and you were talking about it, Claire, at the beginning, which is, we haven't got time to read more than 24, 50 or whatever pages. We want an ebook to solve a specific problem now. So it's the content that people are paying for, not your eloquence with the English language. And as I say as well, you want to be using simple language. So when it's simple language, you don't tend to make mistakes. It's only when you're using multiple syllable words that you tend to slip up with spelling mistakes.
Okay. For a point of interest, when I wrote my book, my mum proofread it.
Did she? What a good mother.
She did. She did. I was writing books before it all got cool, like back in the early days, I think, and now everyone does it. And I'm like, oh, my mum read mine. I was like, and I just wrote it myself. Mine was very conversational, but even though it was like that, sometimes I feel like, sometimes you feel like you've got to have it a certain way or thick or all those kind of things. But actually, I got so many clients from my book, and I sold lots of them, and it kind of feels cool when you've got it on people's bookcases. Like, my book is on people's bookcases. I'm like, yes.
And it's interesting. I mean, what's been interesting, I had a client, Mei-Ling Chiang, who is Chinese, and her English isn't brilliant. But why? It's just when I get the emails from clients where they just say, I just can't believe I've now got my book. It's just, it changes their level of confidence. They feel more assured. When they show it to friends, they're like, look at them in a different way. I remember I was at around a group of friends, and I showed, like, I only just got to know them. And when they saw that I'd been a book, they just sort of gave a double take and said, you're an author. It was like, wow. It seemed like I was some kind of celebrity, but anybody can do that on Amazon. But it will give you a great sense of confidence, because we all sometimes need a bit of a confidence boost. And so for you, like Robert with his book, Prepare, Produce, Present, he was just blown away when he received the book. It was just, as I said, it was like Christmas. It's like the best thing that happened to him in years. He drives a school bus. That's what he does now, at his age, at 74. So when he comes home, he's just done bits of work on this, and he's just bowled over and now working on the next book. Yeah, it's just extraordinary. And the thing is, Claire, it's like I get paid for this. I go and show these to my mom and say, you never guess what the next person has created now. And so I'm tremendously proud. And life for me is about making a dent, and I adore helping other people. And for people to come to me who say to me, I've never produced a book, I've always wanted to make money with Amazon, can you help me? I just like, oh, I can't wait. It just gives me goosebumps helping people. And so anybody here who wants my help, I just can't wait to see your books out there on Amazon in print. It gives me just such joy.
It does. When you help people, I love that as well. And we've got a couple more questions before we go, but I just wanted to say another thing from my experience. And that is, I wrote my book in 2013 and I had a mentor, which was Rick. And then I wrote it in 5 weeks and then I got it on there and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, since then, I've actually wanted to do another book. And have I done it? No. So the point is when you work with someone like yourself, you get things done that you wouldn't do when you say you're going to do it on your own. And so it's super important that you do get support with these things. And I can absolutely be a testimony to that, because you can maybe figure things out yourself, but you won't do it. And I've done lots of things, but I haven't written my second book. So that's what I want.
And the thing is, as well, Claire, is it's this mentality that it only needs to be a few pages. And if you know, it's like the girl, the dot, Vashti with the dot, just get started and then it just improves. And she went from a single dot to big paintings.
Yeah.
And it's the same. You just got to get started. So don't think, and Mark's just come on here. Mark Scanlon says, is there a maximum length of a book? The thing is this, Mark, what matters is, it doesn't matter how many pages. Don't be boring. It's very easy to go beyond, much beyond 100 odd pages, and people get bored. So it's important that a book is succinct, and that's why it's useful to have an editor who will cross out anything that's repetitive. And I might spot that for you as well. But what you want is somebody to start your book and finish it, because it's only when they finish it that they're going to review it, really. So we want them to finish the book in half an hour or an hour or so, because then they review it. And the same I'd recommend for you, Claire, with your next book. You know, if you and I want to talk afterwards, I'm around, you know, we can discuss it quite happily and I'll talk it through, because the key is narrow the what's called the scope. Get it right down. You don't want to try. It's very easy to say, well, I'm going to talk about this, and then it starts to expand, but you keep it laser focused. And that way the book gets done. And also you explain everything in detail, because then people go, wow, I've actually read the book and I've actually implemented this thing. And they go, wow, I've now created my first lead magnet, or I've created my first squeeze page, you know, or I've created my first membership site as a result of a book. So the book needs to have a clear end goal. And so it doesn't need to be very big. It just needs to actually solve one problem. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. That sounds excellent advice. Louisa's got to go. See you next time, Claire. I'll be back in 2 weeks on the 11th. She can't do it now, but she'll be looking out for you next time. So that's good. Keep in contact then with Chris for next time. Lorena missed our answer because she had to take a call, she says, but there is a recording of today. I think you get it by email, and then it's also on the YouTube channel on Internet Business School, so you can watch that. But in a nutshell, can we sell, we already answered this, but can we sell somebody else's writings and books? We answered that. We said yes, didn't we? Can we sell somebody else's? Yeah, we weren't quite sure the context, were we? Yeah, we said yes, we can. That was the answer, wasn't it? Lorena's question, can we sell somebody else's writings? Absolutely,
because what you're putting under the author name is that person's name. So you could publish it under your account, because then all the profits come in to your account. But of course, if you want the money to go to into their bank account, you log in for them into their Amazon account and upload the book into there. It's, you know, like you have this clicking when you buy Amazon, it's just like a one-click purchase. It really is. Get a file from a freelance writer and you just drag it onto a square box on the Amazon site and it uploads it. And you type in the title and the author name and it says, do you want a barcode for the paperback? You say, yep, free barcode is included. Right, click here. Do you want a proof copy first to see what it looks like before it's published? Yeah, I want to see that first, which is like £1.70 for a copy, and you get it in your hands to make sure it looks right. And then you click one button to publish, and it says, and it recommends different prices. So do you want to launch just in the UK, or do you want to launch all around the world? And it lists all the different currencies in Japan and Australia and everywhere. And one button and it's launched internationally. It's extraordinary.
Brilliant. And we have answered this, but she says, where do we find people who can create illustrations and images for a book?
Well, you can use Upwork. Fiverr.com, but really the best place to go is Upwork. And what happens is Upwork is you describe what you want. I want an image that shows this. I want an image that shows that. I want an image that shows that. You lay it all out. And then people bid and said, oh, I could do that in an hour. Or I could do that in 2 hours. So it's only X dollars to do that work. And so that's what they bid. And then you can see the styles that they have. And they say, oh, follow this style. Do you want it looking like this? I can do it for just this price. So that way, because they're competing for your business, they are actually bidding low. And then, of course, you create a relationship. You can do a video call with them because Upwork is very different from Fiverr. So you create a relationship. I found Farah, my virtual assistant, through Upwork. I gave one proofreading kind of job and typing job to her. And now she does to 25, 27 hours a week for me, which is just wonderful. And she's just amazing.
Excellent. So I think we've answered Lorena's questions twice. So you got twice the value there. Hugh says, thank you. Your excitement is infectious. Yes. And awesome presentation from Michelle, Chris. So thank you, Michelle, for saying. So I think we've got all the questions done. I think we've shared it all. And yeah, so sign up, don't delay, because it will go tomorrow at midnight, didn't you say? Did you say tomorrow
at midnight is effortfreeonlinesuccess.com. Effortfreeonlinesuccess.com.
Which is definitely like Cinderella, isn't it? At midnight.
That's it. Yeah, sorry. I've forgotten the Cinderella. Yeah, when they
Cinderella.
It turns back into the carriage turns back into a pumpkin,
like
and the horses
11, 12, and then but the glass slipper stays around. How do you work that out?
There you go. But you see, I have boys. You see, I've got 2 sons. You've got a daughter. You see, so of course the Cinderella story.
I've got 2 daughters. 2 daughters.
Oh, 2 daughters. Wow.
Two. But why does the slipper not disintegrate at 12?
It's just a miracle, isn't it? A magic.
It's magic and miracle, and that's how we're going to leave it on Cinderella's slipper.
And that's what we want. And I hope we can, if I can help you with find the magic slipper that fits so that you get fabulous sales for your books, that's what I'm here for. So if I can be of any help to anybody, I am here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for taking your time out this morning and sharing your amazing system. That's awesome. Thank you to Alan. I see Alan's left me a recommendation on LinkedIn. Thank you, Alan. That's so kind. And we've not even finished the presentation yet, so that was cool. So everybody have a lovely weekend. Thanks for being on Saturday School. Next week we'll be back for more exciting things. I will be back the week after on the 11th. We're talking about how to start a community by popular request. Apparently that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to pull out a presentation on that, but that is my thing. So I love that. And that's it. We're all done now. Happy weekend, everybody. Thanks for showing up this morning. Basically the people who turn up this morning are the ones who are like the high achievers. So especially if you're on to the end, you're like in the high achieving list. So you're like not consuming Netflix on a Saturday morning, you're consuming valuable information. And when you've done your book, send it to me because I'll give you a review for it. So make sure you send them to me so I can have a look at them all. Thank you, Alan. Terrific presentations this morning, Chris. This is us, the team, Claire and Chris, team Saturday School. So there we go.
Thanks, Claire. I really appreciate all your enthusiasm and support.
No worries, anytime.
Stay in touch.